Hi Collective, welcome to the channel. I'm Crystal. So let's get started with a reading, shall we? Let's get into the tarot and see what is going on with the current energies. So it's officially spring. We just had our equinox yesterday on March 20th. All readings are timeless, know that, but I'm always going to let you know about the energies we're connecting with, cosmic alignments. 9 days now until our solar eclipse. So we're in the corridor of these eclipse energies, just having our lunar eclipse, equinox, now leading us into this solar eclipse. Like, what? Yeah, we in eclipse season, there's definitely major changes about, right? We've officially started our astrological new year. We're now in Aries. So, let the games begin, I heard. The games begin. What games? I feel like this is like on a whole new level. I don't think the type of games you're thinking. Like, I think it was like preparation for where you're going. So, let's see. 3 of coins. Okay, with the Hermit on the bottom. So you're building something. Something is right on schedule, right on time, I'm getting. It's interesting, the 5 of coins. But I just seen the 5, it looked like it said I of coins. Like EYE. I'm getting like that I am presence. Like, I think you're seeing yourself out of a situation. Maybe you're seeing why you were experiencing or why you were in this 5 of coins energy. Why you were experiencing lack, loss, restricted finances, resources, or maybe I was getting like it's a mindset, being left out in the cold, or limiting yourself. Like something that I did for years, right, was a single mom. Well, not even when I was a single mom, but when anyway, like when I was like a homemaker and I was at home, like I limited my resources a lot because I would be thinking about like how much money I had each month with child support, along with the money that we had, you know. So it was like when I was always focusing and planning things out for, you know, especially having 4 children, how I could do this, you know, and figuring out birthdays, celebrations, holidays, to a school time. You know, I always had to find ways to prioritize it. I couldn't just be like, okay, school starts in a couple weeks, let me go get 4 kids all set, especially when I had a lot of summer birthdays, you know. So I always had to like prioritize, buy things early, spread, you know what I mean? So I was always focusing a lot, you know, and I didn't get to save a lot of money because I was always, my way of saving would be purchasing things early, just like having 4 children for holidays and things like that. Like I can't just wait, you know, a paycheck or 2 before the holiday. There wouldn't be enough finances. So along with bills and all that, because a lot of times, you know, you prioritize your bills with certain paychecks or whatever, you know, it's part of the construct of what they want us to do. So to limit us, right, and having you set on like that fixed income or whatever. So anyway, so like I got stuck in a mentality, right, of like looking at like child support, spreading that out with my children to just different allotments and different ways, you know. So I was limiting a lot because I was so focused on like fixed incomes and certain money and things like that, right? So maybe for some of you, like getting away from that, or you're finding a way to break away from that, especially if you're holding yourself back, like if you're in some sort of like threshold or something, you know, like if you say you're on like state assistance or food benefits and things like that, and there's certain caps and certain criteria, like maybe you've limited yourself to keep yourself within those. Because I remember for a little while too, I was working 3 jobs, and I ended up dropping my 3rd job when I was a single mom because I was like, well, because I'm working more, they completely took away like my food allotment when I was on food benefits. So I was like, I could be working 2 jobs and still get a couple $100 in food benefits, where my third job, it was literally like, that was just going to groceries. So I'm like, and this is more time away from my children. So, you know what I mean? So then I realized that, wow, well, I'll let go of this and then I'll get on food benefits or whatever. But it's like, I didn't have that mentality like, well, maybe if I changed my career options and stuff where I was making more money, I could have just one job. And I was still so focused on like, how am I going to feed 4 children and me? Because for a while, like, I was getting no child support. This is the only time I was having to do that. Right? That's why, like, it's interesting how people are like, I get side eyes and stuff like, you're a homemaker with your, like, I did my time, right? Like, I had to fight and put in a lot of time and effort and stuff to be able to be at home with my children and get to be a homemaker and stuff. But anyway, so you know, it's changing the perspectives and different things, right? And everybody's not always, you know, like, people can criticize and people can have so many like even though I had boyfriends and stuff too, and I know people would say like, oh, well, like, you're supporting your boyfriends, or you're letting your boyfriends like get off of your state assistance, your food assistance, your child support. Like, no, like, that never happened. Like, even though I was with boyfriends, I always made sure that they paid their way. They paid bills and expenses, and I always made sure that everything was fair, was equal, right? But, like, I'm just getting this energy, like, you don't have to explain yourself to somebody, but maybe it's like you. Like, I was always funny too, like, there's certain things just like with child support and stuff, like, even though it's an allotment, I hate when people or some people say like, oh, they should track the way child support payments are paid. Like, no, really, you should not, you know, because the child support payments are not even enough to support a child. Like, I mean, for the decent dads out there that are working decent jobs, I mean, yeah, there are some that are actually paying, you know, what would be considered fair, but to get $250 a child a month, like, that was like, that does not cover even child can eat more than that in a week, like, seriously. But anyway, I'm gonna get away from that. What I'm saying is that like, I know my mindset and my mentality, right? Like, there'd be certain things to be like, nope, I'm not, like, when my kids would want their gift cards and things like that, I'd be, no, I'm not using child support to buy those cards for online gaming, even though it would be like their money and things like that, because I always knew that I wanted that money to be for things that they needed, right? And school and things like that. And it's like, and really, child support can be to cover bills, you know what I mean? It's supposed to be to help in the expense, just like when you have a children, like when you have a child, like me having 4 children, like, I have to have at least a 3-bedroom home, right? A room for my boys, room for my girls, and a separate bedroom, right? So, you know, obviously then you got to jump up to a bigger bracket, you know what I mean? Paying more rent, having a bigger home, right? And you can't just have just a small, you know, 1-bedroom apartment, just little things like that. You know, people need to, those dads out there are the ones that think that their little $250 a month goes a long way, and the ones that can't even pay that, like, okay, I'm gonna stop with this. But what I'm saying is, like, for a while, like, my mindset, my mentality, right, was focused a lot on, like, it was hard for me to open up, right, especially when I needed to be there more for my children too. So I knew that, you know, I had to, like, reduce my hours and jobs and come down a little bit. I'm like, well, we're going to be taking a hit financially, but I need to be there more for my kids, right? And stuff. But so there's this mindset, like, you're restructuring or figuring things out. That's also what was leading me to, like, okay, well, I need to try to build a business then where I can be at home and I can make money, you know, that way and stuff. And it would be a way to get me ahead, right? So, and maybe for some of you are running into, like, roadblocks and things with that. The Chariot and the Tower, there's some sort of major movement here in the Page of Swords. See, I've been talking about this all along. Like, I just looked down. Like, it's something like you have to change something. Like, the way that you were thinking or feeling, like, it was hidden for you. Right? And confidence was a big factor too, because, like, a little bit of, like, my story, like, I've been criticized a lot by like my children's fathers, because all they ever did was like, they didn't help me raise the children, they didn't support the children, they walked away. But then when I found ways to, you know, have boyfriends that have shared expense where, you know, and stuff, they immediately just, you know, had lots of bad things to say, and they've caused a lot of like, tried to cause a lot of like problems and turmoil and stuff like that, with things that they've told the children, to trying to report things, just all sorts of stuff to cause trouble, just to meddle, just to be like, just, oh my gosh, just awful people. Okay, but I don't want to get into that. I don't like to talk that way about people, but I don't even know if I can upload this. Because, see, I don't like to do that, because it's like, I know that they still watch my readings and stuff, because they're hung up on my energy, right? Because that's normally when people do go and attack you, it's because they love you, and their love turns to hate. They're mad that they can't have you, right? But anyway, it is what it is. Okay. This is gonna help somebody, but it's definitely this coming out with like mama bear energy is what it's given. You know, like you're really figuring stuff out, right? Like I'll put more of my stuff out there. Like I told myself, like I was very stubborn when like I first, like, even though when I had my first child, like I didn't want to get on food assistance and Medicaid and food benefits and all that, so I didn't. Like I was proud to like pay out of pocket for my daughter's insurance and provide all of her food and her formula and everything. And it wasn't until her dad walked out, or left the state, actually, that's how shady he was, left the fucking state when she was an infant. And so then I agreed. I'm like, all right, I'll do the WIC program, you know, at least get some help there, right? Because I had to go to work still to support my daughter, right? So I'm like, all right, so I'm gonna need to do this. So I accept that program, but I wouldn't sign up for like food benefits and insurance, and like I was a proud mom, but I got him to come back, right? And then got pregnant again. It took off while I was pregnant again. So then I was like, all right, I'm gonna have to get on some sort of help and assistance, because then he wasn't paying anything, right? And I was told by my parents that I had to move out by the time my son was born. So, you know, I had to figure things out. So I got on food benefits then, right? And it was a blessing to have that, to be able to know that, you know, I didn't have to worry about food for my babies, right? And that I could feed them. And it was nice to actually eat, because, you know, as a mom, like, you make sure your kids eat. You don't worry about you eating a lot. So I was getting very depleted of nutrients because I wasn't eating very well. So it does very much help, and you shouldn't be ashamed of that. But it's like, then I just always just recertified. I was always under the criteria then of what I would make with like retail jobs, matrix jobs and stuff, because of having the children. Then they look at the dependents or whatever. So I got stuck in that loop, in that cycle, right? And then I would always, and even though food benefits are only supposed to provide like 70%, like I would eat less stuff and not eat my meals and make sure my kids, and I would try to make it to where that food would last the month, right? Where it was basically I'd be giving up my food allotment for them so I could last the month, just so I could have more money for the kids, so then I wouldn't have to pay out $300 or $400 extra for food a month. And it was like, then I got stuck into these traps, right, where I would try to make that sustain the month, right? And then it was just like I said, then I got into like when I picked up another job, this is a way to get more money. Then they took away the food benefits. I'm like, well, damn, now I'm just working, like really tiring myself out. And so then I was like, all right. So then, you know, and it's these little things. And I've been thinking a lot about that. Like my daughter's 18. My oldest daughter turned 18 and she moved away. So it was like taking her off, you know, the case. And then they're revamping and changing things, and now my youngest is getting ready to turn 7, right? So then they're trying to change up things again, and I was like, you know what, like this is the time where it's like I really need to get focused on things, and I need to get off of food benefits and state insurance, and you know, just like I was trying to get help for my son and then getting denied coverage, because, you know what I mean, because they like to deny a lot and then say that, oh well, like I remember too, like braces, both my kids needed braces and they both got denied by the insurance. Like it's nice to have that insurance, but then you run through so much denies and approval, and like I had to go through an emergency extraction when I'd broken a tooth, because since I didn't take care of myself very much, like dental was always a big thing. Like when I was pregnant with my kids, like you're supposed to really take care of your teeth when you're pregnant, because your babies really, when you're pregnant, they can pull the nutrients from your teeth a lot. And I didn't take care of myself, or I didn't go to like really I was started out being a young mom. Had my first child by the time I had turned 21. So, you know, like I didn't take care of myself, right? And realizing that that happened, tooth broke, right? Because the nutrients are gone in one of my teeth. And anyway, like I went through like agony and like torture of pain, waiting to try to get like approvals and authorizations just to try to get it removed and stuff. And like like the pain was just so unbearable. Like it brought me back to like what it felt like to be having my painful contractions. Like teeth pain is no joke. Like I had a nerve exposed, and like nobody like would help me until everything went through. And it's just showed me that, like, you know, there's so much stuff wrong, and I feel that a lot of people are stuck like in this matrix, in this game. Because if you're focused on like your set paycheck and your bills and the amount of money, like that's what they want. They want you to conform, and it like you're making like a job. Their acronym for job is just above broke. Like you make just enough to be above broke. Like one person working 40 hours a week should be able to provide for a living, right? Should be able to provide for a home, power, electricity, a car, to be able to drive, right? To be able to get you to and from work, to be able to afford all of that. But then it's like now you got to be able to have the gas, and you got to build the insurance and the car, and then, you know, all of and even if you have the bare minimum and all of that, one person cannot even, and I mean somebody living just like in a studio by themselves, having the smallest car, the best gas mileage and all of that, and they're still not being able to support, and still limiting the amount of food that they're eating, and eating cheap trash food that has poison and stuff in it, because that's what I mean. That's what's wrong. You not see that? Now imagine, you know, and that's just one person. Now imagine what a mother of children, and there are many where the fathers are not paying child support, not helping them, are having to live, right? And it's just like, in this tooth that I broke, like I've lost 2 of my back teeth because of this. In the first one, like I just took care of it myself and kept it very clean or whatever, and I lost the tooth and my body took care of it, right? But the second one, like it was just like, no, it wasn't going to let me take care of it on my own. Like part of it's like it wanted me to go through this experience, but like I knew it was from not taking care of and you know what's funny too? Even when I went in, when I was in excruciating pain, like about to go to the ER, like I brought my kids with me, and they were like, oh, well, we can't even see you because you have your children with. And is there anybody that you can have to watch your children? And at the time, no. And I was very blessed that they watched my children for me so I could go back. And then I was scheduled an emergency extraction the next morning but that's what I mean. Like, there's just so many moms, right, that are not taking care of themselves because they put their children first. They're stuck in this matrix, in this world, having experienced these things, right? And like, it's changing. But you know what? The more I put my story out there, like, the more it helps people, more people align with stuff. Like, that's what I mean. Like, you should never judge people. Like, you never know like what people are going through. You really don't, right? And just like if somebody may be being edgy with you, like, let me tell you what, like when I was having the excruciating pain, when my nerve was screaming inside my mouth and it was going straight to my brain, and I was still having to function as a mother, still having to get on city buses to be able to go get groceries and go grocery shopping. So when somebody may walk out in front of me, you know what I mean? and or hit me with the shopping cart, because there'd be times I couldn't see straight because the pain was so excruciating, like, but do you think those people knew if like I was a little bit edgy or not smiley or whatever? But people can just be so, like, people, hopefully whoever finds this, like, you just need to have more compassion. You never know what people are going through it, but in so many of us are like, have been going through this major like fault, like this is the collapse of like the matrix. That's why like it's falling apart and everything. It's not being able to sustain, right? That's why the cost of everything, it's because it has to collapse because it can't sustain, like we're bottoming out, right? So this is a beautiful time because we're reaching the end, and that's what I mean. I feel this is collective energies, like literally like the help from the heavens, from above, like is coming in, right? Like I know that, like I didn't give up hope or whatever. Like it took 3 times. Yeah, because I had went to urgent cares and finding the insurance. Like it took the 3rd time, and then after the 3rd time, and that's when I told you divine intervened, and all of a sudden I had an emergency extraction the next morning, and then it was done. And you know what I mean? Like, so the help is here. It very much is like you can't give up hope or whatever. That you just need to trust that times are changing, and to have more compassion for people, because you never know what people are going through and how bad that they have situations, right? So yeah, wow, I didn't know any of this was going to come out like this, but yeah, look, the Fool is right here and the 4 of Swords. All right, since I just got chatty, I don't even know how far I am at. Wait, 21 minutes? I don't feel like this is going to be forever, and I feel like this is going to go out to, like, my mommy bears out there. Like, hang in there. Like, help is here. It is. Like, you can't give up. You get aligned with beautiful people, and don't get discouraged by doing things like getting help, asking for help, right? Like, it is available to you, just telling people a story. Like, actually, like, I was getting sent away at the dentist, right? But then when I was explaining to him how I'm going to have to go to the ER and bring my children there, and then they're going to send me right back because all they can do is just handle the pain. But I still needed to have, a dentist perform a procedure, right, to get me out of pain, right? So, but anyway, like me just explaining that, like it was so beautiful that they got me the help, and that they helped me with my children. So wow, like there's a lot of compassion, and you got to not forget about the people. Like, I know the matrix in this world, and that's what I mean. Like, we have people that are in high places that are fixing it. So everybody needs to stop fucking going against the man that's trying to dismantle a lot of the corruption. All right, I better stop. Because he's definitely a light worker, baby. And that's why it made me change. Like, if you can't see that things are just starting to change already, have hope, right? Have hope. All right, bye guys.